So it's just been a lot between traveling and clients and working and my own house and my own things. And but it's all good. I mean, my husband is really good about picking up all the slack and cooking dinners and doing all the things. So I'm not complaining. It's just I'm ready to not be working full time.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have though, right? It's like you have to kind of get to that point before you leave a full-time job to know like, okay, obviously this is working. I'm booked out. I'm stressed out. There's too much. I'm ready to like move on from this to move into this full time. So that's a super, super exciting time. Congratulations on all the traction that you've made.
In March, I will have been at my corporate job for 39 years. So I'm like ready to be gone.
Every millennial on the call just like took.
Yeah, that's probably longer than most of you have been alive. So you're probably all like my kids' ages.
That's amazing. So hopefully like full retirement, pension, like all the things. Okay, good.
Yeah. So that's what we're hoping for. So yeah, so it's all good. And I have a client that a guy, he's just a great guy, and I've been packing for him, and he's actually moving from Maine to Connecticut, which is where I'm from. So I'm actually doing all of the packing for him, and then I'm coordinating a visit to Connecticut with my kids so I can unpack him and organize for him in his new place.
Woot woot, double business. Yay.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Awesome. Congrats. Yay.
Yeah, thanks. So, well, thank you. It's good to be back. It's good to be here.
Yeah, glad you could make it. So for those of you that just joined, Brittany is getting rid of gecko eggs in Hawaii, and Sandy is driving through the snow to go to her clients' homes. Natalie, Becky, Laura, anything that you guys want to say? Any wins? Feel free to.
I started charging more.
You got your first new client at the new rate, right?
Yes. And she's a hoarder, and I cannot wait to send y'all the pictures. She lives in like a 600 or 700 square foot, like mobile home, and you can't see the floor. She can't walk around, but I'm excited. Because that was when I said it to her, I was like, I freaking deserve this money because I know what I'm going to get into, but I'm happy to help her. And it's going to be a long client. So I'm excited to like do monthly plans with her. So yay.
Yeah. Recurring income and all the things. Yay. She clearly needs it. And it sounds like she's ready, which is like the key for those types of clients. So good.
100%.
Congrats. Natalie, I saw you unmuted.
I filled up all of my decorating and takedown slots. So I'm excited for that. I was working with a client today, just putting away Halloween stuff. And I was mentioning to her, I was like, oh, I also do this. Cause she said she had a light guy who does all the lights. I'm like, oh, does somebody decorate your house? She's like, yeah, me. I said, no, it'll be us now. And she's like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that. So she booked up to decorate and take down and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so I had 4 slots open and they're all taken now.
That's awesome. I feel like that's such an exciting service. Like that probably doesn't even feel like work for most of us because it's like what we already love doing in our own homes. So that's super exciting. Yay. 4 on the books. Awesome. Laura, how's your ad going with the ballet?
Oh, I still have to print it and see if it works. But I sent it in, and so we'll see how that works out. I haven't really heard anything back from them, but I did book. Someone bought my second biggest package today or this week for the first time, so I'm really excited about that.
That's awesome. How did they find you?
I think on Yelp.
Nice.
Which is weird because I don't have any reviews on Yelp or anything. So I went for one session, and then she just decided, she's like, yep, I'll just have to buy one of your packages. And then she picked that one. So that's for like 24 hours. So I'll be there for a while. They got some stuff to work through. So
awesome. And any plans like Teresa to potentially start exiting full-time job or gonna keep it for a side hustle?
I would love to leave the hospital. I hate it there. I don't hate it, but I'm just, it's been rough. So yeah, I'm ready, but I'm nowhere near ready in this business to do it yet. But that's the goal for sure. Like maybe,
Same.
I don't know, maybe a year or two.
No, 6 months.
Okay, yeah, that'd be awesome.
That's the goal. Set the goal. Awesome.
Okay.
Anybody else want to share wins? Bree?
So I had a lead schedule a phone call consultation from my website for the first time just yesterday. So that was super exciting.
Awesome. And that's your new like intake form that you have linked. I know you shared it in the group. You're like, yeah, I'm so excited. That,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
like,
Through
one
Tidy
click.
Cow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yay.
I was super excited that that like worked for me at least one time. You know what I mean?
Well, now you know it's repeatable, right? If it
Exactly.
works once.
Exactly. And it was super cool because I used the call script also
Good.
for the consultation call following that. And I think that really helped my consultation call process a lot.
Good, good. And you guys, she's referring to an example enrollment script that's in the resource locker as far as consultations go. And that is, I think it's is it a Google Doc link or it's a PDF? I don't know. But anyway, feel free to like make it your own and ask your own questions that are in your own style, your own verbiage, things like that. It's really just like a guide point, but it's not something where you have to get through like every single question or, you know, if it doesn't make sense for the context of the conversation you're having, like obviously customize it and don't read off of it like, okay, so what are your challenges? Like, I know you guys won't do that, but it is there as a guide for those of you that might want to check that out. So yay, Bree, congrats. Karina, Kathy, Tamra, I know you guys aren't on video. Do you want to say hey? If not, no worries. I know a lot of you are probably driving, commuting, all the things. Tamra, she's here.
I feel like I haven't been on since the very first meeting. Sorry, people. I apparently have no kids sporting events, so I don't even, what is life? Although they're still bothering me.
It's not microwave.
Okay, then don't put it in the microwave. I'm Tamra. My business name is Peace in a Pod Organizing Solutions. Peace in a Pod Organizing is my Instagram. I kind of have a private Facebook group called Reclaiming My Time, which is more of me just like every day talking to regular people, how I would normally talk, maybe a little less professional, but that's just my normal banter. I don't really have any wins. I mean, I bought a house a few months ago and I'm kind of living in that. So
that's a win. That's a life win.
It definitely is. It's been an adjustment. So yeah, I'm just enjoying the house and my space and organize. I unpacked like the first week. Everybody keeps asking like, "How are you? Are you settled?" I'm like, "Do you not know me?" Yes, I've unpacked in like 2 days. So,
have you been taking like photos or doing reels or anything like of that process to share on your own business pages?
Some of it, yeah. Mostly like my kitchen because I do cook a lot, but I would say no, like the bedrooms or anything like that I haven't done. But I mean, that's honestly like a whole course, just like unpacking. And I love unpacking. Obviously, I'm a psycho. If I did it in 2 days, but I love unpacking. I can put stuff where I want it to go and I can start fresh. Like, yeah, I like doing that. So
yeah. And that's great stuff to loop into your copywriting too, as far as like, I love unpacking too, because it's really like a clean slate and setting up that client for success in their new space and like really creating that lifestyle for them. I think I was chatting with Becky maybe at some point, we were talking about like all the little niggles that come through from our clients of like your clients see your stuff that you did every single day. And like they think about you every single day. And I just feel like that's such a cool, like energetic thing of like all those little like, ooh, Brittany's in my house. Ooh, Tamara's in my house, you know? Yay.
Yeah,
awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Well, we're excited to have you back. I'm interviewing Tamara on the podcast too on Friday. I think we're recording and she's going to talk about virtual organizing because I know that a lot of you have been asking about like clutter coaching, virtual organizing, moving to like more of a digital model, doing courses and things like that. So anyway, stay tuned for that podcast episode. Jill, I'm going to call you out because you hit a really big goal. So I don't know if you want to share it with us, but I'd love to hear it.
Okay, I sold $100,000 worth of organizing sessions this year, which is like blowing my mind. That's like, I don't even know how much money that is. That's so much money. Like, that's more money than I've ever seen in my life. So that's exciting. That's my good news. I had a little team member drama, which is bad news, but I'll get into that later with you, Melissa. I'll talk to you about it. And then I brought on 2 new girls. So life is good.
Yay. Okay. So like huge OMG moment. Holy cow. So exciting. Knocked it out of the park, set the goal, see the target, hit the target, knocked it out of the park in November, not even waiting till the last day of the year to hit that big money goal. So congratulations.
Thank
from
you.
all of us.
It's my 2-year business anniversary on Monday also. So that's exciting.
Yeah. Are you going to have a party and do a photo shoot and do a cake smash and pretend it's a business baby because it is?
It is a business baby. Yeah. So
Have a party. That's what I told Sandy. Sandy just hit her 1 year and I was like, throw a party. That's awesome. Congratulations. All right, cool. Well, let's get into tonight's content. Hold on. Let me look at, giving me trouble. Where's my chat? Someone tell me what's in the chat. Is it just like, yay, Jill? I can't see it. I don't know.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So tonight we are chatting about overcoming limiting beliefs. So tonight's session is going to be a little bit different than what we've been talking about over the past, 5-6 months, which has been a lot more tactical, a lot more, on recruiting, hiring, scaling, business admin, CRMs, workflows, automations, tools, blah, 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 all the things, right? Tonight, we're going to talk more about mindset and kind of the energy behind everything that you're putting out into the world and all of that energy that you're putting into your organizing business. So that being said, I was chatting with somebody the other day where we were talking about all these strategies, and she was somebody that had, she's actually in Canada. She's not part of our mastermind, but she was having a lot of trouble where she was like, I'm doing literally everything. I am checking every single box. I'm doing all the things and it's not working. What is going on? And so we had like a pretty intense session just talking about her mindset and really getting into where her head's at with the whole business and all of these fears and these limiting beliefs that really, truly, I believe, are holding her back from making all of those strategies work. So in my coaching, I can give you guys thousands of strategies. I have ideas every single day. I'm excited about what I do with Pro Organizer Bootcamp, but if your energy isn't behind what you're doing, if you're not excited about it, if you're not lit up about it, if you're feeling funky about it, if you have fears about it, which we all do, nobody's perfect, right? That is what can get into like that icky, yucky zone of not necessarily feeling like it's working. So that's why I wanted to do this session tonight. So thank you so much, everybody, for sharing your wins. As far as a mindful minute, just to kind of like get into a positive headspace for tonight's session. I know that we've all probably had a long day, lots going on, but in the spirit of November, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, gratitude, what are 5 things in your business that you are grateful for right now? Is it that you have the time freedom and flexibility? Is it that you're going to be able to quit your full-time job soon? What is that for you? Let's just take like 1 minute just to either jot those things down, put them in your notes app, or just think about it if you're driving. And feel free to throw it into the chat too. And in the meantime, I'm going to figure out what is going on with my chat box. There we go. The heck? Okay, I don't know why my chat box is not working, but I'm gonna share my screen a different way in that case. Okay. Grateful for this wonderful pro-organizer community, yay. Flexibility and being my own boss. Flexibility, more free time, helping people, right? Impacting our communities, being my own boss, being able to be myself. Yes, that is huge. We're going to talk about that tonight. Connecting with new friends, learning new business skills. Love it. For me, it was always the time freedom thing and the being able to be myself thing, because the amount of times I've been fired from jobs in the corporate world is a little bit intense. Brittany knows that about me. But being able to be my own boss has been huge. Becky, the relationships I've gained from meeting new people, helping people, building community, having something new every day. Yes, I talked about that with Sandy the other day, as far as the variety of tasks, the kind of diversity in all of our to-dos and things that we get to do, no longer being in the rat race in a cubicle, doing the same mundane things every single day. Being appreciated. Natalie says flexibility, loyal clients, love that, like your soulmate kismet type clients, right? They find you. Community of organizers and a sense of accomplishment. Karina says meeting new people, flexibility, helping new people, and working on new projects every single day. I love creating too. I think that's probably all of us here. I know that sometimes we think as organizers, we're like this perfectionistic OCD type A type person, like logical, analytical, space planner type brains, but we are super, super, super creative in what we do. You kind of have to be, I think, as a business owner, and creating your website, creating your social media. We're creating every minute of every day as business owners. And then Kathy said that too. Yep, able to be creative. No punching the clock, no judgment, learning more and more. And Sandy says serving others, time freedom, being able to pick up and drop off your kids, right? That's a huge one. Family, right? Making more time and having that flexibility to be able to do what you want when you need to. Love it. Okay. So in the spirit of that, let's talk about some not so fun stuff. Limiting beliefs. So most of you, probably all of you, have heard of limiting beliefs, but really briefly, this is kind of the, Webster's dictionary version of what it means. A limiting belief is a state of mind or belief about yourself that restricts you. So like this little ball and chain guy that we see on the screen, that restricts you in some way. These beliefs are often false accusations. They're not true, that you make about yourself. So this is all about your mindset. This is all about your self-talk, the things that you're telling yourself over and over again within your brain every single day that are like these little niggles, little whispers that become habits and become part of your identity. And they can cause a number of negative results. So some examples, and I would love to have, some vulnerable moments in tonight's call where, if you're comfortable, throw into the chat some examples of maybe things that you've thought in the past that you feel like either are currently holding you back or held you back in the past. A big one I know for me is I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I think that could be a lot for a lot of us too. The idea that I have to be perfect in order for this to work. I has to be a perfect website in order for me to tell my friends and family. It has to be a perfect pantry or else I can't leave and I'm not worth the money that that client paid me, right? I'm overwhelmed, right? I'm confused. I don't know what to do next. I'm in decision fatigue. There's too much to do. This is too hard. I don't have time. I can't make money. So money is a huge one. Lots of money blocks come up, I think, for entrepreneurs. Success is for other people, not me. That's a big one. Maybe some of you grew up with parents that said money doesn't grow on trees and you have to work really, really hard to get what you deserve in life. Or rich people are bad, or wealthy people are just money hungry, right? Whatever these like kind of stories that we've heard our whole lives, a lot of times come from our parents, come from family members. And then the last one here, I have to be on all the time in order for my business to run. The idea that rest is dangerous. So I'm curious if you guys resonate with any of these, if these are maybe any thoughts that you might have had in your own business. Give me like a nod or a thumbs up because I can see those of you that are on camera. Yeah. So, I mean, this is like stressful to look at the laundry list, right? Like, I'm not good enough. I can't make money, blah, blah, blah. And so calling it out for what it is, I guarantee you every single person on this call has had one or more of these thoughts at some point in time. It's just kind of human nature and child development, right? Going back to your childhood, things that you learned early on from a very young age that were kind of ingrained in your brain. That's the idea of limiting beliefs. So now that we have kind of the definition of what these little assholes are, let's look at what we can do to kind of break through these. So as humans, we tend to look for evidence to prove that we're right. Our minds are constantly searching for evidence of what we're telling ourselves is true. So I don't know, I just thought of a random example. Say that you live in like a neighborhood that has an HOA and you're like, those HOA people, they're just the worst. And that Karen that runs that HOA, oh, she's just horrible. And so every single thing she posts on Facebook, you're judging. Every single thing she posts in next door, you're judging. Every time she does something to her lawn or her front yard, or she's outside getting the mail, you're like looking at her, We look for evidence that things are true. Maybe it's something with your spouse. Like, I told him 5,000 times in our marriage not to leave dishes in the sink, or not to leave the toilet seat up, or not to leave whatever, right? And then we look for that evidence, like, see, I told you you do that, right? We're maybe a little bit guilty of that. So it's the same thing internally. Just like we look for things externally, we're also trying to tell ourselves, oh yeah, I didn't deserve that because that client didn't have me back for that second session. So clearly I didn't deserve that money, right? That's a tough one. When it comes from ourselves and we're telling ourselves that, that's definitely negative self-talk. And there's nobody to kind of like call us out on our shit because usually it's internal and it stays in our head and it kind of festers. And these aren't things that we usually talk a lot about. So as humans, our number one priority is safety. If you think of us as like primal beings, if there's a tiger running at us, we need to be safe, right? It's that fight or flight. What do? We're going to freeze. We're going to try to stay alive. So our number one priority is safety. Our number one priority as a human being is not being the best organizer ever and making so much money in your business and hitting all of your goals and organizing beautiful dream homes, right? That all is like extra fluff for our little primal hearts. So at our core, we want to be safe. That's why comfort zones are really comfy. That's why they're called comfort zones. They could also be called complacent zones. How many of us have gotten to a point where we're like, this is comfortable, so I'm just going to be complacent? I know I'm like that right now with my weight. I'm like, I've gained 15 pounds and I'm like, I'm going to have that extra glass of wine. I'm going to eat that pizza because that's just kind of where I'm at right now. And I'm letting myself go with it. But I know that something has to change like very soon here, or else I'm going to get totally complacent and go off the rails. Most times, because of this, because we want to stay safe, we choose what's easy versus what's hard. Not intentionally. I mean, we want to say like, we're the boss babe and we're the badass and we're the entrepreneur, we're the CEO and da da da, right? I'm making so many moves and I'm doing all the things. But a lot of times we're secretly choosing what's really easy and we're not actually doing the things that we know we need to be doing to hit that next level of success. I'm pausing because like, let that sink in for a second. So most times we're secretly choosing what's easy versus what's hard because we want to be good. We want to be that A+ student, that goody two shoes, that teacher's pet, that perfect person, perfect student, perfect worker. We want to be good. We want to be correct. We want to be right. We want to be in the know. I know for me, it's been a huge journey with my own emotional intelligence, which is what we talked about last month, as far as if somebody tells me I'm not right, or they have constructive criticism or not so constructive criticism, and they're just giving me, you know, feedback about something that I don't agree with, that's always really hard for me to take. I think as that type A perfectionist that like wants the gold star from the teacher, if somebody doesn't give me the gold star, I'm kind of like, why didn't I get the gold star? You know? So is this landing? Like, do any of you guys feel that way as far as like wanting to be the perfect student? Raise your hand or give me a nod. Kind of, sort of. Okay. So I'm not going to get into this part of it too much, but basically the way that our brains work is we have neural pathways and this stuff called myelin that lives in our brains that creates our habits, creates our thought patterns, creates our triggers when something like triggers us emotionally. And these are like, if you think of them as like little tubes running through your brain, these are formed very early on in life. So that's why I mentioned things from childhood. Maybe it's stories your parents told you, things that your family and friends always said, things that were just kind of ingrained in you. The good news is you can change what those neural pathways are triggering in your brain. You can kind of change the code. If you think of it as like a computer, right now the code is running as such. If you want to change that code, you can actually go in there and start to reframe things and start to move things around and say, you know what? Actually, I don't believe that. I don't believe that money doesn't grow on trees. I don't believe that rich people are bad. I don't believe that success couldn't possibly be for me based on my upbringing or my background or whatever it is, right? You can actually go in there and you can go, boop, boop, boop. Okay, we're going to recalibrate. And it takes time and it takes work, but you can do it. You don't have to stay stuck in that thinking pattern. So we're going to get into a few more slides tonight on, you know, stories that we might be telling ourselves, anchors that we might need to start cutting. But the idea here is to stop settling, stop doing the things that are easy, stop staying in that comfort zone. Promise you're not being chased by a tiger. It's just posting on your Google My Business page. I promise you're not being attacked by a lion. It's just taking that consultation call with that intimidating client with the $15 million house or whatever it is, right? Fear is just trying to keep us safe and it's trying to keep us alive. So stop staying uncertain, doubting yourself, and really stuck in that analysis paralysis, kind of frozen in fear mode that sometimes we all get into, depending what it is in business. Some things that we can do to start to kind of disarm those thoughts that pop up is to take each thought and analyze it. If a thought comes into your brain that you don't, how do I say this? Like, awareness is the first step. So when you start becoming aware of all the negative self-talk that can go through your mind every single day, take each thought and ask yourself, is this true? Is this true? Or is this something that's coming from a fear-based place, a scarcity-based place, a place of lack, right? Is this true? No, a lot of times it's not. So throw it away. Use discernment and start to be aware of those niggles, those whispers, those things that are coming into your brain. You guys might have heard some sort of quote along these lines: where your mind goes, your energy flows. Where your mind goes, your energy flows. The idea that thoughts become things, and our thoughts, the way that that brain works, the way that those neural pathways are formed, the way that that myelin is holding in all of that information, all of that data in your internal computer, our thoughts direct our life and our business. So what is holding you back? Why are you thinking this way? Is it fear? Is it something that happened in your childhood? Is it that you're scared to rest because what if everything falls apart if you take a day off or take a weekend off or take a vacation? Why are you thinking this way? Really get into your brain. Something you can do after tonight's session, maybe on your next admin day, or when you just have, 15 to 20 minutes by yourself, is to really dig deeper and ask yourself why. I like to do an activity in my own journal that I like to call the 7 layers of why. So let me think of an example that I want to share with you, like vulnerably. So, okay, I'm just going to randomly throw an example out there. I want to be more present on YouTube because that is where most of my clients have come from, is on YouTube. I did that 30-day video push in July. I got those videos out and then I kind of haven't done anything since then. So why am I not doing these videos? It's not because it's hard. It's not because I don't know how to do them. It's not because they're not working, they're not performing. It's not any of that. Why am I not showing up? I think I'm scared of going too big too fast. I think I'm scared of not having that time freedom anymore and having too many clients. I think I'm scared of, imposter syndrome. Maybe if I get like too high end of a client that's like too far into her business that maybe I can't help her, what happens then, right? And so do you see what I'm doing here, where I'm taking something and I'm going, I know I need to be working on YouTube. Why am I not doing that? Why? Really getting down to that bottom. And it's probably something traumatic that happened in my corporate life that I'm like, I never want to feel this way again. And I want this time freedom and flexibility, right? So this is an example of something that you guys can work on, like I said, in a time when you have some space to really check in with yourself. Take one thing that you might know you need to be doing, but you're not doing, and start to get into that like 7-layer dip of why am I not doing this? And if anybody wants to put into the chat anything that like they're not doing that they know that they want to be doing, maybe it's something that's been on your heart for a while, something that's been in your dreams for a while, on your mind for a while, and you haven't pressed go on it, feel free to put that into the chat and share it with us. Sandy says, I have always been different and accepting this is my business and I can be me and I don't have to take it down a notch. Yeah, that was from our conversation earlier, but I think that's relevant here is, am I going to be too much, right? Am I going to be too much for my clients? Tamara said it too. I get to be me. I get to be myself. I get to be genuine, authentic. I don't have to put a mask on, to run my business. Truly, genuinely being able to run your business is magic. And that's what people are paying for. They're paying for you and your magic and your gifts. They're not, DIYing. They're not having their housekeeper do it. They're not hiring somebody and then never talking to them, right? These are clients that you get to know. Cool. So moving forward, start to think about what are some of those limiting beliefs that you're holding on to. Like I said, what is something that kind of like on your heart, it's in your mind, it's in the back of your head, it's kind of nagging at you, but you're not really listening to it. What are those things that you really want to do? What are those things that you're telling yourself that you can't do, or you shouldn't do, or you don't deserve to do, or you don't know how to do? If you can't define it, then you can't defeat it. Right? So when stuff starts to kind of pile up in our brains and we're not really paying attention to it, we're not actually calling it out for what it is, then how can we defeat it? How can we disarm it? So start to really think about what those things might be in your business and even in your life, obviously, work-life balance. And we're a whole human. We're not just, Becky, the entrepreneur, or Laura, the organizer, or Bree, the professional home organization specialist, right? We're full people. So think about this as it pertains to the rest of your life as well. Oops. There I am. So digging deeper, a few more questions kind of when you're doing that journaling exercise, when you're starting to think about these things is this happening to me or is this happening for me? We've all heard that saying, you know, it was a blessing in disguise, or try to see the silver lining, or can you see the glass as half full instead of half empty, right? Easier said than done to just say, oh, there's a blessing in here somewhere. Yay, carry on, right? Easier said than done for sure. But in every single kind of pivotal moment, pivotal situation, epic event that has occurred in my life, that has changed my life's trajectory, I always see it later, right? Hindsight is 2020. So later you can look back and you can be like, damn, I'm really glad that happened, because if that hadn't happened, XYZ could have happened and like destroyed blah, 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 right? Or I'm really glad that I met that person because that opened up all of these other doors. Things like that. You guys know that I just went through a pretty painful breakup of my fiance of 4 years, and, you know, shit was nuts for the past 6 months, let's be honest. But I am so much happier now that I've kind of gone through the thick of it, gone through the muck, if you will. And I know that there's bright things ahead for me. And I think like having some sense of that positive mindset throughout the whole thing is what got me through it. If I had just sat around and said, I'm never going to get married, I'm never going to have a baby, I'm never going to be able to do anything in my life, this ruined all my plans, should I just move back to San Diego and call it quits in Oklahoma and just say bye to everything that I've built over the past year, blah, 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 right? Where would that get me if I just kept going down that kind of negative rabbit hole? Instead of saying, you know what, this is happening for a higher reason and for a better future for me. Does that make sense? I know this stuff is like heavy, guys. So I'd love to like unmute because I'm sick of talking. Is anybody wanting to say something? Otherwise, I'll continue on and I'll suck it up.
You're so strong. You've been through so much. I could hear the emotion in your voice. I just wanted to hug you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you to everybody. He moved out officially, or not moved out. He moved out officially in July, but moved to Virginia and like left. So now I'm like on my own on Monday. So, you know.
I just want to say that's amazing that you are overcoming, you know, hard things and that you're able to be here and just tell us about it. I mean, definitely that, you know, you can hear it in your voice that it was hard for you, but thank you for being such an example that we will, you know, go through hard things, but you have just been an example of like still showing up. And that's amazing because, you know, you definitely, there's a lot of eyes on you and you're just a great example when it comes down to those things.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, you guys. Yeah, I mean, I love what I do. And so thank God for all of you guys and thank God for, you know, my business, because without that, I don't know what I would, you know, what I'd be doing or where my head would be. So thank you all. You know, that's why we need community, right? A lot of you guys said that in your, what are you grateful for? You know, meeting new people, connecting with other organizers, getting into a community, networking, getting out into your local communities, all the things. We need people, right? We're not meant to be on an island. We're not meant to be solo, individual, doesn't talk to anybody, hermit crab type entrepreneurs, right? We need to be social. We need to get out there. So thank you. And yes, showing up no matter what, showing up until I hit those goals, showing up until I get what I want in my business, showing up for you all, right? Being selfless, being self-sacrificial and saying, you know what? I owe it to these ladies to continue to put out more podcast episodes, even though I really didn't want to batch 2 more podcast episodes yesterday. I still did it because I was like, otherwise there's not going to be an episode next week. So we better get on the train. Cool. So the other thing that has kept me going really is, can we get into a mindset of excitement? If you think back to when you had that very first like urge or rush of, holy cow, I can start a business. I can get paid to do what I've always been good at since I was a little girl. oh my gosh, this is a career. Oh, I just got chills. This is a career. This is an industry. This exists. I can get paid to do this. What? I can get paid to do what I love, and I don't have to, you know, trade time for money and just clock in and out and get my paycheck every day. I can actually have a business. What? Think back to that time in your business and see what you can infuse in your current state of business to get back to that excitement, get back to that motivation, that inspiration, that like, I'm going to stay up all night and make the website and do this and create my logo and get my headshots booked and right? Like those exciting times, I think, are the best. So what can you do now in the state that your business is in to keep that going? Doesn't have to be all doom and gloom. Think about what could happen, right? What's out there for me? And what's the one next step that I can take? So that whole saying of, you know, how do you eat an elephant in bite-sized chunks? You don't have to climb the entire mountain. You don't have to eat the whole elephant. What is that one next step? So if we think back to those things of like, there's these little niggles or these whispers in my brain that I'm not sure about, haven't hit go on, I haven't pressed play. What's the one next thing that you can do to get you there? When I started a podcast, I had no freaking idea how to do a podcast. I went to the store and I bought a $200 microphone because that was what I thought was the first step, which by the way, I sold that microphone right after that because I was like, this is bullshit. I just record this stuff on Zoom, like no one cares. But what is the one next step that you can take to get to where you want to be? Another thing that I want to say is don't worry about the how. So we get so caught up in, well, how could I, like Tamara, you mentioned in one of our Facebook group threads about wanting to do more speaking and wanting to do more coaching and like presentations and workshops and things like that, and getting paid events and paid gigs. What is the one next step you can take to do that? You can create a speakerhub.com profile and list yourself as a Houston-based time management and organization speaker. You could go connect, you know, you have your kids, go connect with their schools, whatever, like PTA or I don't know, mixed feelings about PTAs, but you know what I mean? Like the powers that be at the schools and be like, hey, who do you know? What do you guys need? What if you did a time management presentation for high schoolers or middle schoolers or the parents of those kids? Or I don't know, like start to think about what is already available to me and what's a baby step that I can take to just get that momentum going. You don't have to eat the whole elephant first. You don't have to say, how am I going to get paid? Well, what am I going to charge? Well, do I have to have a contract? Well, what about travel? What if they want me to fly somewhere? Well, is it just going to be virtual? Well, I don't have a slide deck. Well, what am I going to talk about? What's my signature keynote? What's my signature talk, right? If we start thinking about all that stuff, we're never going to move. We're just going to stay set. We're going to go, oh my God, there's too much. I'm going to freeze, right? The lion is coming. I'm just going to play dead. I don't know. But instead, it's just what's the one next step? Does that make sense? Okay, so if you don't make any changes to your mindset around this thing that you might be wanting to do next, if you don't make any changes to your mindset and this fear-based thinking, what would happen? Where would you end up? So like Sandy, we had chatted about potentially moving into more like virtual organizing for small business owners, doing some consulting on like systems for small business owners at all of these like networking events that she is going to, and meeting these really cool people and wants to help in a different way. So if she stays stuck in, well, I'm not a business consultant. I just started my business. I just started my business a year ago. What do I know? Well, how am I going to help this accountant that's been in business for 5 years, or this social media person that's been running a marketing agency for 10 years? Well, I don't know. What would happen, right? That dream would die. That dream would die. She would never be able to fulfill that vision that she has and that excitement that she has to be able to serve these new types of people in her business. And she might end up resenting the home organizing. You know what I mean? I'm totally using this as like an example, Sandy, by the way. I'm not saying any of this is going to happen, but do you see what I'm saying? Like, if you stay stuck, if you stay, oh my God, the line's coming, there's too much to do, I don't know, blah, 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 right? What's gonna happen? If you're not excited, lit up, excited about the work you're doing, that's when resentment can kick in, burnout can kick in, doubtful thinking can kick in, all that negative crap. Becky, you look like you want to say something. Or else I just want to hear your voice.
Yeah, sorry if you can hear my vacuum in the background, it's going off, but I am experiencing burnout, and my struggle is that I have a lot of debt that I have to pay off. So my kind of going back, like the last slide of like when to say yes, when to say no, when to give yourself grace, like I think that's what I've been struggling with the past month, is like I can't stop working because I have to somehow break ground with paying my ass whooping rent amount and being a single female and having this over my head. Yeah, so that's my struggle of I need to give myself rest, but when I have debt weighing over my head, I don't know how to stop. And then it comes with the price point, understanding that people do have millions of dollars, and that I do deserve the hourly that I'm giving myself. So it kind of like all comes full circle. I don't know if that's what I've been thinking about for the past 20 minutes.
Yes. And I mean, you took that one first step, right? You said, okay, I'm going to raise my prices just this little bit. And then you got a client. Okay. Now, what does January of 2023 look like? A lot of things change when a new year happens. Okay. What does that look like if you go up $5 more, $10 more, right? Every new client you talk to, you give a little buffer. And like, it's almost, for me, when I started doing that, it's almost like a little test to myself of like, how comfortable you are with it is what's going to work. So if you're like, and my rating's $100 an hour, like they're not going to believe you and they're not going to want to book you at that price, right? Because they're not seeing that you believe in it. So when you can say, my rate's $75 an hour, I'll be at your house tomorrow, let's go, right? Okay, now what does $80 an hour look like? 85, 90, 95, right? It's almost like a barometer in yourself of how can you get more comfortable with what you're offering? Because you know you're worth $100, $150. I mean, you're not even like, we're not tied to like a money dollar value. Like, hi, I'm Melissa and I am tied to $200. Fuck it, I'm worth $5,000 an hour. You know what I mean? Like, these are all stories that are made up in our heads. Does that make sense? And no, we can't hear you vacuum. I don't care. Yeah. The other thing too, just some ideas is like, what about products that you could sell, templates, printables? What about affiliate income? You know, really tapping in more to your Amazon affiliates or becoming, I don't know. I had some random sandwich bag guy send me some shit the other day and I was like, sure, give me some money and I'll make a video. You know what I mean? Like, what are some other things that you can do to add more income to your business? Coaching.
So
Yeah.
I started, which I don't know if anybody has done this. I would love your feedback to see if you actually enjoy doing it. But I started helping my clients sell their clothes on Poshmark, but I'm doing 60-40. So I take 60%, they can get 40%. And I don't even want to show you my spare bedroom. It's literally flooded with clothes because I look at it and I'm like, fuck, I can't do this tonight. And then I shut the door and I run away. So I feel like I'm turning into a client. And I don't know if people have done it before and have like a system that works for them. If they've taken a certain percentage from clients, any feedback is wonderful.
I'll go first and then Laura. I tried it. I did it on ThreadUp, Poshmark, The Real, some other one that I forgot. Didn't work, burnt me out. I think I made you know, with the margin of like I think mine was similar, like it was either 50-50 or 60-40, probably made a profit after all of the time and money and energy and shipping it and taking it to the post office and doing all things, maybe like $10. So to me, it wasn't worth it. Laura, what did you want to say?
My sister-in-law does that. She likes to go to estate sales, and then she finds, you know, gems and stuff, and she has them on Poshmark. But I had a client that I helped declutter and then helped her pack, and she had a ton of clothes, like tons of stuff with tags and stuff. And she asked me if I did that. I'm like, no, but my sister-in-law does. So she came and took like all of her stuff, and I think she's doing 50-50, but it's tough because people don't want to pay, like for secondhand clothes, they don't want to pay like top dollar. But she puts it on Poshmark, she puts it on Facebook, like like groups, and then Marketplace and stuff. And she's like, it's not really moving. I think I'm just gonna have a yard sale. And then, you know, yard sales go, people like lowball you and stuff. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
To take pictures of everything and post it and deal with the people, and yeah.
I think it's fun if it's like your own stuff and you're like, okay, I'm just going to make some extra cash because I cleaned out my closet. But like when it's tied to the outcome of the client on the other end being like, okay, have you sold my stuff? Where's my paycheck? Like, it's not, yeah.
The good thing is this was a test one, because she does have all of these clothes with tags still on them. They're all brand new. And she just wants whatever we make off of it deducted to her next session. So we've made $4 so far. So it's going really great.
Nice. We'll start to think about, yeah, like affiliate income, product-based stuff, coaching. I know that you said you're interested in like more of the accountability side of things. Look at what those offers could turn into, and then just how to monetize in other ways. You know, I know that, you know, we're probably not all going to start YouTubes and podcasts and create digital courses and but if you guys ever, you know, have questions about any of that stuff, let me know, and I'm happy to, you know, DM you on Instagram. So moving forward, because we're almost out of time and I want to get to our last couple slides here. So I like to call this breakthrough season, because this is the time where we start to think about what we want our business to look like in the new year. So, you know, we're 6 weeks-ish away from 2023, and we start to think about, okay, what did I create in 2022? What was my income like? How many clients did I serve? How many hours did I organize, or me and my team organize for? What are those goals going to look like in 2023 or in Q1 or even in just in January, if that's kind of where your brain is, and start to reverse those negative thoughts and limiting beliefs on what you're holding back on. How can you look for abundance and wealth versus fear and scarcity? I know this sounds like, I like to call it the 23-year-old life coach guru, but I'm going to live in abundance and wealth instead of fear and scarcity, right? It sounds very nice and fluffy, but truly, how can you start to reverse those patterns that you might not even realize you're thinking? You might not even realize, oh, well, I'm always going to buy the generic brand at the store, even though I know that that shave cream is crap, but I don't deserve the one that's $3. So I'm going to buy the one that's $1.59 because that is what I deserve, right? It's like these little things that we do every single day throughout every day. What can you start to change to live more in that abundance and wealth versus scarcity, fear? Start to think about those reframes, right? Flipping the script and see how these new thoughts can help you in business. Replace those shitty thoughts with new beliefs to instill a new identity. So if it's, I'm not good enough, it's actually, I just hit 100K this year in my organizing business and I just hired 2 new people and I'm super fucking stoked for 2023, right? Or it's, I just created my website and I had my first client consultation come through the website. So now that I know it's working, so yeah, I do have this whole tech stuff down. This tech stuff isn't scaring me anymore. And I freaking got this. And now I'm excited for what's next. You know, like just these little pep talks that we can give ourselves, they mean the world. They do truly matter. What can you replace those fear-based thoughts with? And what do you want to feel instead? So like Becky feeling like, tied to this like pressure of like, I have this weight on me. Okay, how do I get out of this? What should I do? Right now, you might feel overwhelmed. You might feel pressured. You might feel anxious, right? What do you want to feel instead of this? I want to feel peace. I want to feel flow. I want to feel like I have time, freedom, right? How do we get there? What can we do to start replacing all of those weighing down feelings? Okay. A few book recommendations and podcast recommendations if you guys want to go further with any of this. A few of my favorite books are Growth Mindset by Carol Dweck, Everything is Figure Outable by Marie Forleo, who also has awesome YouTube content. I'm sure you guys have seen the You Are a Badass series. So she has like You're a Badass with Making Money, You Are a Badass, the original one, and a bunch of other ones. More woo-woo on the woo-woo side of things. Light is the New Black by Rebecca Campbell. Obviously, all of these are audiobooks too, if you're not like a paper book person. And then some podcast recommendations. I love all of these and I listen to them pretty much weekly. And I'll throw this into the, probably just into the Facebook group as like a screenshot so that if you guys want to check out more of this too. Earn Your Happy by Lori Harder. Don't Keep Your Day Job. I love that. It's not Don't Quit Your Day Job. It's Don't Keep Your Day Job by Kathy Heller. Online Marketing Made Easy, Goal Digger, and then the Jennifer Allwood show. If you guys have any podcasts or books or anything that have helped you in your business, please put them into the chat. And what I'll do is make, kind of add those to this list as well. All right. We are at the top of the hour. Anybody want to share key takeaways, light bulb moments, things that they might want to kind of hit the ground running with after this call? Don't all speak at once.
I think these sessions are great because it kind of gives me the boost to kick ass. Like when I feel defeated like this, I feel like when we all come together and we can do these sessions, it like puts my frame back. Like I can do this. I have the confidence. I'm not afraid to actually stand for my worth because friends, family, and things will have opinions, but then you come into this little perfect group and it's so much better. So thank you.
Yay. Yes. Quiet the doubters. Quiet the doubters. Shut off the haters. Stay in your own lane. Eye on the prize. Thank you for being vulnerable tonight too. I appreciate it. Anybody else? Laura, Jill?
You mentioned
just-
something. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, to pick big scary goals, not goals that you can hit. Like I know I could probably leave my job in, a couple of years or something, but you're like, no, do it in 6 months. And I'm like, how do I do that? You figure it out, right? You take a baby step and then another step, and then next thing you know, you're there. So choose big, scary goals that you don't know how you'll do.
Yes. When I did that talk for Ashley Home Furnishings Corporate, they set 2022 BHAG goals. And I was like, what the fuck is a BHAG goal? Because I had to talk about it like in my keynote. They call it big, hairy, audacious goals. So like think of the monster, think of the tiger, think of the lion. What is that big, hairy, audacious goal? Like Jill, I'm sure at the beginning of 2022, when you set out to make 6 figures in your organizing business, that probably was like, how the heck am I going to do this? Right? That's a big, hairy, audacious goal. And look at you. You hit it in November with time to go. Yeah, I love that, Laura. Big, hairy, audacious goal. If you need help too of me like kicking your ass into setting some 6-month goals, then let me know. And I'm happy to jump on a call with you. Natalie, what did you want to say?
You mentioned something earlier that kind of struck a chord about like I guess working so much. I can't remember exactly what you said. So like I had looked at my October calendar before and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm so slow. And in reality, looking at the calendar, I didn't work 5 days in October. So it was like, it's that kind of balance of like saying no and giving myself some time, but it's like, no, like I want to take the jobs because I'm always worried about that slow period. And I mean, knock on wood, like I really haven't had that, but yeah, you always worry about what's next. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to take all the jobs. I'll take all the jobs. And then in case there's like a no job time. But yeah, I mean, I like literally, I was like, only 5 days, like that's nothing, you know? So it's just, it really kind of struck a chord when you said that. Cause it's like, yeah, why am I working so much? When, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like now, like I have kids all in college and stuff. So now I think it's more of that I have the flexibility of time. I don't have anybody kind of like, you know, I've got to run kids to practice or do this and do that. So now I'm like, yeah, give me all the jobs. I want to take them all. But at the same time, I got to figure out, you know, that work balance is really a killer when you're, you know, your own boss.
Yeah, we want to do all the things and we have all the ideas when we're in that excitement mode and that inspired mode. And it's like that flow and that like rush of energy. But then if we don't pay attention to what our body's saying, what our mindset is saying, we need to sleep, we need to, you know, rest, we need to have a day off. It's like that guilt, I think, that we feel in taking a day off. I know that I've been taking weekends off, like completely, like not even posting on Instagram stories, just kind of living my life, doing my thing. And I'm like, but what if my audience disappears? Like, it's stupid. It's bullshit. Like my business is still going to be there, you know? But start to think about, yeah, what if there is 1 week in business where you don't have consultations coming through? What does that look like? What's the worst that can happen? I like to go that route of like, what's the worst that can happen? Oh, okay, I'll like make some tweaks on my marketing, maybe up my Thumbtack budget or my Angie budget, or like make some new posts on my Google My Business, or offer a new service, or do a discount for the holidays, right? Like you'll figure it out. What's the worst that can happen if things get quiet for a little bit, you know? And then digging into that why, like you said, the seven layers of why. I encourage you guys all to do that if you're journalers like I am. Any other key takeaways, light bulb moments before we close out tonight's session? Brittany, calling on you.
I want to buy a work vehicle. Maybe I've said this before, but I like a Ford Transit, you know, so I can have my ladder in there and I can have some bins and my labels. Like I need somewhere to store inventory because it takes a while to ship things out here. So it's like kind of worrisome to do it in between. Anyway, so I want a vehicle. And the baby steps for that are really simple. I just need to go to my bank and ask for credit. So scary though, simple but scary.
Yes. And then wrap it and make it all branded out and take a billion pictures of it and ride around and like hold events out of your car. And like, I'm so excited for that. Yay. Yes. Go.
The practical part is that my car now, which operates pretty good for work, it has an oil leak. So I can't take it to luxury homes and park in the driveway. That's not cool. So I actually need something different.
Yeah. Or trade that in and just like have a new car. Yeah. Yay. I'm excited. Keep us posted.
I will.
Big goals, all the things. Thank you guys so much for coming on to tonight's call. I know, like I said, it was a little bit different than what we usually talk about and got, you know, kind of dug deeper into our emotional entrepreneurial hearts. So I appreciate you all being here. Let me know how I can help you too. Feel free to DM me on Instagram. And then next week, I believe next Thursday, the 17th, same time, same place, we are having our hot seat coaching call. So be sure to put in any hot seat issues, questions, comments, things that you want to work through, or we can just have that call be kind of a continuation of tonight's session based on, you know, what you guys kind of absorb and think about after tonight's call. So thank you. Bye.